in January, and we're looking into this program that's been in place for 4 years now called Bryce's Law. It's a scholarship program for children with disabilities, and it was passed in 2014 because Representative Scharnhorst had a grandson who was born with severe autism, and his name was Bryce. And unfortunately, he passed away at the age of 6. And so Representative Scharnhorst worked 4 or 5 years in a row. He submitted bills to create scholarships for children with disabilities for their parents who, might be challenged to find the right education program for them and need to go to maybe a private program or even a religious private program. And so Bryce's Law was created, and I'm sad to say that in the last 5 years, not one child has received a scholarship. And that's because it really isn't funded. The legislature made it, but they didn't fund it. And we're just hoping as it begins to, it will expire in 2019, that they'll amend it so that children could actually get scholarships.
How do they make something and then not fund it?
Well, because they were concerned about having public dollars go to that, and originally it was proposed as if you donate to a scholarship organization, you could take a full tax credit for that. In other words, 100% off your tax bill. But there was some concern that that's sort of using public money to go to a private institution, so they changed it to just where if you donate, you can just deduct it, like you could deduct any donation to any charitable organization. And because of that, there's really no reason for any organization to jump through the hoops that DESE put into this in order to be a scholarship organization. So no organizations have formed. I think now that the Trinity Lutheran case was resolved last year, which is a Missouri case, that went to the Supreme Court, and they found that it's okay for private institutions to participate when there's public dollars available. I think now Bryce's Law could be funded.
Well, but from what on the limited knowledge that I have, I thought public schools did a very good job of mainstreaming kids with some of these disabilities much better than the private schools.
Well, okay, so there are several private institutions across the state of Missouri, one here in St. Louis, one in Joplin, they're private, and they're really outstanding institutions for children with severe autism. And as you know, it's really challenging for parents of children with Down syndrome or severe autism to find a good program. Maybe the public schools, okay, doing a good job. Maybe they're doing a great job, but maybe they aren't. And in that case, parents are desperate to find a program that is doing a good job, and it just may not be the assigned public school. So, and it's hard, especially small school districts, to be a perfect fit for every child, especially children with disabilities. So the legislature already conceded that point. They already said, yep, we agree. These parents need more options. They just didn't make it possible for them to get those options.
I find it interesting because everything is owned by the Republicans down there, and if this is if this is in their platform and this is in their bailiwick, I wonder why there's such opposition to it, even after they pass the bill.
Well, I think for one thing, there's some pretty powerful forces that go down to Jefferson City and make sure that doesn't happen. I mean, the School Board Association, the superintendents, the leaders of the teachers' unions, they're very dead set against having any of public dollars go outside of the public education system, even when they aren't able to serve those children well. So I think that this could have been a chance to make a token display of support, but not really do anything. And I think that it's time, even the number of children with autism is going up. I think it's important to recognize that these children, I would say all children or all parents need to have at least a few choices to make sure that their children are in the right place, but certainly these children.
Yeah. I guess the argument would be just because one kid has autism, he or she is allowed specialty to take his money and go elsewhere. My kid who's stuck in this failing school, why isn't he allowed the same opportunity as the kid who has autism?
Of course, I would open it up to all parents for sure. It can, for sure. But I think that this is what the legislature recognized, and that the law that they passed, which is to say, these children, and they even identified in 2014 when they passed it, like the 8,800 children who would be eligible, the types of institutions you could participate. I mean, they put all of this structure in place, and then no money. So I guess we just want to make sure that as it sunsets, that they reconsider and repass the bill, but with language that would make it a real program.
Dr. Susan Pendergrass, Director of Education Policy at the Show Me Institute. More online?
More online. We've got a great video that does a good job of explaining it and other resources. So, yeah, I would say check it out.
Dr. Susan Pendergrass, have yourself a good week. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, McGraw.